The Fix is in. The Sports Fix.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Fantasy Jocks. Visit fantasyjocks.com, your fantasy sports superstore. Championship belts, rings, trophies, and more.
Sports Fix listeners, don't wait all day or all week to get in on the fun. The party doesn't stop when we go off the air all week long. The Sports Fix social media sites are your one-stop shop for all things Cleveland sports. Jump over to facebook.com/thesportsfix, facebook.com/thesportsfix, and become a fan today because we love fans and they create some of the best sports talk in town, Daddy. You'll enjoy talking to your fellow Cleveland sports fans on the Sports Fix fan page. And if Twitter's your thing, well, you know how we do it. Tweet with us at the SportsFixCLE. It's that simple.
Twitter.com/thesportsfixCLE, baby.
Chat live with the crew during all your favorite Cleveland sports events, tickets and contests and trivia and so much more. Get with us today, the Sports Fix on social media, facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at the SportsFixCLE. Join the Sports Fix on Facebook and Twitter today.
This is Greg Pruitt, formerly of the Cleveland Browns, and you're listening to The Sports Fix.
Live in Ohio, it's time to get your fix. The Sports Fix.
Bam, just like that, on the air, off and running Friday, end of the week edition of the Sports Fix here. And man, I'm feeling good, ready to roll with this one here. A little bit of flip-flopping on the lineup, but it all fell into place today, and now we've got ourselves ready to do this thing, baby. And all into the weekend, busy weekend again here for me personally. And we got a lot of high school football going on around the area this weekend, all kinds of stuff, man. I'm ready to rock and roll. Looking at the slate of guests, normally the sports writer extraordinaire, Jonathan Knight, joins us on Fridays. He's got a previous commitment here this week, but sliding right into his spot, Eddy Jansen from More Than a Fan Cleveland, beat writer Cavaliers, going to join us. We'll talk some Cavs as they wrapped up their preseason this week. I want to talk to Eddy about what now that we've seen, some bits and pieces, obviously not the real deal in any way, but curious to see if all sunshine and roses to Eddy. We'll see where he's at, strengths and weaknesses here. We'll talk a little Cavaliers basketball as we head into the weekend. And of course, heading into the weekend means that we're talking some football, baby, as we get ready for another Cleveland Browns football game this weekend. This time, the Raiders on the other side. We're going to talk to Jeff Gorman, as every week, from Browns101.com, bringing the scouting report from the other side. And, of course, just like each and every week, we'll point out the ways and the places and the people that can hurt the Browns and can beat the Browns. Jeff Gorman with the full Raiders scouting report. Ryan Ruiz of Dog Pound Nation with us here. Yeah, I almost did it. Dog Pound Nation, Ryan Ruiz with us here to talk about his 3 dog bones to a Browns victory. I'm proud of myself. I didn't slip there. I think that may be the first week that I didn't do that. With us here to give the 3 dog bones to a Browns victory. Looking forward to that. Of course, those are the keys to how the Browns can win this game. And the World Series is back on the Bay. We'll talk about that. Buckeyes going under the lights. A lot of things to get into. Football game last night. I'll talk about that here in a minute. And let's do it, man. And I want to do it with you. I know it's a busy slate. We got a lot of people on tap. I do have 10 minutes early and then the end of the show to open up the phone. So I will crack them open right now. If anybody gets through, we'll roll with that. 216-539-7535. 216-539-7535 is the number to call. Indeed, I did. Charles in the chat room. 216-539-7535. Welcome in. First off, while I'm giving out the phone number here, throwing myself out of my rhythm, welcome in, you guys, to the Sports Fix. Those of you that haven't been here before, I am the voice, the conductor of the madness here, the big daddy on the mic, Jerry Myers, J-Rock, whatever you want. Call me. Happy to have you here again. We're ending another week already, blowing through it. And the month, look at this, man. I mean, next Friday we'll be playing scary songs and Halloween music, and bam, heading downhill. Thanksgiving and Christmas. I cannot believe that it's legitimately, it's not even going to be into the, man, I can't believe we're talking about Christmas already. We're actually going to be into the season. I was at a store the other day, had nothing but Christmas stuff out, and I was like, come on, man, too early. Anyways, welcome in. No matter how you're enjoying the show live on Spreaker and Mixler and their respective mobile applications, maybe you listen live every day on TuneIn and TuneIn.com, one of the best places to listen. Many people listen from around the country, and of course, many of you listen live right on our website, thesportsfix.net, the home base of everything we do at the Sports Fix. Bookmark that bad boy. Welcome in as well, all of you listening on digital delay 24 hours a day. Thousands of you who enjoy the show on iHeartRadio, the world's largest internet radio provider, on iTunes. Many of you subscribe to us there. I'll tell you what, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, welcome in all of those formats. And speaking of that, I'm not doing this to drop. This is not one of those, hey, look at how great we're doing or anything like that, because there's a lot of work to be done here on the Sports Fix. That's for sure, as far as building this thing up. But last night, I had not done it in a long time because I've been really busy with the football and all the other things that I've been doing, plus the regular stuff that comes with doing the Sports Fix. I was looking through the just the last 30, 60, 90 days statistics on the digital delay stuff because, I check out a lot of the live stuff at, day to day. I kind of have a good daily grasp on that because it's part of what I do on a daily basis. But many times it's hard to explain, but basically think about every service that the show can be listened to on. It's like a different post office, and they all deliver the mail back to you at a different speed. So literally, you're 6 months out before all of the various plays and downloads of old files have come in. I mean, I'll check it today, and there'll be people downloading stuff from 8 months ago still, like this week. It's crazy. It's because they did it months ago, but it takes forever for the numbers to get to me. So I roll back, and I'm seeing stuff that I didn't even realize was there in just the last 30 days. And this is on my honor here. In the last 30 days, the show has been downloaded, not listened to, but downloaded at least once in 27 different countries. I'm not even bragging. I'm asking you to tell me how that happens. How does that even happen? I mean, it's cool to say, but how in the world does that happen? And I'm looking, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, man. I tell you guys that all the time. Over 1,000 different cities around the world. It's amazing. It's just, I have not looked in months. I think the last time I may have checked was probably early summer, not even late spring. I just have not even gotten around to it. And I didn't even do it on purpose. I was looking at one thing and I said, oh, you know what? While I'm here, let me click on the big picture here. And I said, wow, you've got to be kidding me. So amazing. And I just really, that's you guys. That's not me again. But yeah, it speaks to, not me, not the Sports Fix, to Cleveland sports. I mean, clearly, that's cool. Maybe a few of them just like to hear the sound of my voice, but most of them clearly are coming here to listen to Cleveland Sports Talk, which shows you guys the power of like where Clevelanders have spread out around the world. I mean, think about that. Somebody, even if it's just one person in 27 different countries, of course, counting here, has listened to the show in the last 30 days. That's nuts. That speaks to Cleveland sports and the reach that it has, and maybe it speaks to how many of us have moved to warmer climates over the years. But just amazing, you guys. And I wanted to mention that here today before we get rolling too deep in the show. I just saw that stuff last night. And speaking of stuff I saw last night, I know you guys have probably seen the Andrew Hawkins video going viral. Hilarious. And the reason it's hilarious to me is because I've got a very similar thing that we do in my house for years. Andrew Hawkins, for those that didn't see it, funny little Instagram video. He's got his 2-year-old son, and he asked him who his favorite football player was. And of course, remember, Hawkins played in Cincinnati for the Bengals. So the kid, he said Mohamed Sanu and A.J. Green. Andrew Hawkins pushed him out the front door, tossed him his Pokemon book bag, shut the door on him, and then the best part was he takes a deep breath. Good luck. And then it was hilarious. But anyways, the reason it was more double funny to me is because I've got two. You guys know I've got two boys, and my older one now obviously understands the ins and outs of pro wrestling and the business side of what we do. But he was just like the little one when he was younger. They have a list of guys that I cannot beat and that I'm not allowed to wrestle because they're big and they'll beat me up. It's not huge. And I guess it's a compliment that I can beat everybody else. But my children literally have a list. You ask little Josh, you go, hey, man, Dad cannot beat John Cena? Don't do it. Dad cannot beat John Cena. The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, big guys, big tall ones, all the big tall ones, don't do it. Can't beat them. Regular size guys, Dad's okay. But they actually have a list, and my kid will love to tell me, no, Dad. And, of course, some of them have actually beaten me up on television where he's seen it before. And you go, well, Dad, Kane beat you up before. What makes you think you can do any better this time? And this is my 8-year-old son talking to me like this. You see what we go through? So I don't blame Andrew Hawkins. I'd kick him out of the house too, man. Come on, man. I'll pay the bills here. You know, who's your favorite player? But anyways, it's true. I laugh all the time. It's just hilarious, man. He's got his list. Everybody else, Dad's cool, man, but don't mess with those guys because it won't turn out good for you, Dad. My children have looked me in the face and told me that. Just the betrayal, the heartbreak. It hurts, man. It cuts you deep. The first cut, like Sheryl Crow said, is indeed the deepest, guys. As we roll on with the show, having a little fun. You guys check it out. We posted that on our Facebook and Twitter. And by the way, I didn't plug it, so do it. You do it. Go find it. Facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at thesportsfixCLE, all one word. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. Jump in, be a part of the conversation today. Facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at thesportsfixCLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. Talk a little football real quick before we go to the break. Eddie Jansen coming up just a few minutes from now. We're going to talk some Cavaliers hoops at the end of the preseason. Last night, this week's football kicks off Denver once again with the victory. You know, I wasn't sure. Short week, you know, how these teams were going to play. I've liked what the Chargers have done, but man, the Broncos just continue. Every week, this week it's Emmanuel Sanders. You know, he went 6 weeks without even getting in the touchdown game, then grabs 3 of them. I mean, they have got their pick of a cornucopia of wide receivers and just offensive talent. Hillman, another good performance for him coming out of the backfield there, and the defense too over there for Denver. I mean, enough. You know, obviously you could say, well, this or that. Enough to handle with the amount of offense that they got. It's tricky for me to go too far because Peyton Manning is the all-time great regular season quarterback. His teams always do stuff like this in the regular season. You know, obviously winning championships is different, but man, this looks like he may, and I mean, we got to see. Hillman's got to continue to produce, but may settle into one of the better running attacks that he's had. Not maybe the best, but one of the better ones. I mean, obviously, man, just no shortage of people to catch the ball. I mean, all the wide receivers, the tight end. I mean, there's no shortage of weapons for him there, man. And I think Denver is looking very, very, very strong. 5-0 at home, of course, here. 6-1 overall now with that 35-21 victory there last night. And of course, not in the Sports Fix League, but in one of my other fantasy leagues, I outsmarted myself, I guess, because I picked up Antonio Gates this week and didn't play him, and he scored 2 touchdowns, but I thought I played him. I woke up this morning and I'm like, yeah, man, good job playing Antonio Gates, coming up with the touchdowns. And then I go check my scores, and those 24 points are on the bench. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't play. Oh, I didn't switch him before the game. I told you guys, that's one of my weaknesses with fantasy football is that I got a lot of other things going on, and I'll just forget. And then I'll be mad. When I was on the road every weekend, I would get so mad. My leagues, it wasn't even fair because I wouldn't be home in time to change stuff. And then I'd, get home, my lineups are locked, and half the guys are injured and not playing. And if I would have been able to get to the computer. Of course, phones are smarter now, but my phone was not smart at all back then. That wasn't happening. Texting pictures was an accomplishment as far as that goes. But anyway, so good victory for the Broncos. They continue to just look like a team that is bound and determined to get back where they ended last season. And Peyton Manning going to work, putting it in. Another good night for him last night. But again, it's the regular season. That's what he does. I mean, he does more than just that. I'm not saying that in the insulting way that some people do, but that's what he does in the regular season. But man, with their running attack, like I said, and a stronger defense than he's ever had, and that's what they did. Look what they did last year. They went and attacked. They should be one of the best teams in the league. They went and attacked the free agent market last year. Put some big money on that side of the ball for sure. going to be interesting to watch them once we get to playoff time, man, but looking focused, that's for sure. Let's take a break, reset the stage here, get ready. Let's talk a little Cavaliers hoops before we get into the